Alright, so this is a very impromptu video, so ignore the frazzled look. I just whipped this up right now because I was going through some comments from my video that I posted yesterday about the Finnish alphabet, and there was a lot of questions and concerns considering or involving certain letters and how people still were not able to distinguish between them even after the video. So I thought I would try and clarify certain letters. Now, I am by no means an expert on anything to do with linguistics, so this is just me making stuff up as I go. So I apologize in advance if you are still confused after this video. I'll try my best, but I can't guarantee you'll hear a difference. So the first concern is between L and R. Now, I can understand the confusion because in certain languages you don't have the R sound. So if you're only reading and not actually hearing the language, you might be confused as to the pronunciation of it. Now, just to recap from my first video, L is, for example, in the word lassi. Lassi. L. And R in Finnish is a very strong rolling sound, so like rasia. Rasia. It doesn't always have to be that strong, but just for the emphasis of the distinction, I'm making it a bit more exaggerated. So, for example, two words, lassi and rasia. Lassi, rasia. Lassi, rasia. Like that's the difference. L, r. That's the difference between those two. The second concern was the difference between the letter B and the letter P. And some people were still not able to distinguish these two letters. Now, even for my ears, they can sound very similar in English and in Finnish. And I don't think there's a huge difference between the way it is pronounced in Finnish and the way it is pronounced in English. Maybe some of you disagree, but to me, it kind of sounds similar. I kind of played around with the words, and to be honest, I don't really know exactly what the difference is, but B is a lot duller, and it's not as sharp, so it's kind of like a b, and your mouth is kind of like b, instead of in be. If you put like your hand in front of your mouth and you say be, you're meant to feel like a bit of wind, air coming out of your mouth, instead of like be, there's a little bit, but not as strongly as be, because be is stronger, sharper, and it's meant to flow more air. I don't know. But if you try and listen, like be, B is duller. And you may not still hear a difference, but if I give you a word example, let's use the word for path in Finnish. So polku. It's a P. Polku. And if we were to transform the P into a B, which this isn't a real word, but just for the purpose of the video, we will be using the same word. So with a P, it's polku. With a B, it's bolku. Polku, bolku. P, polku. B, bolku. Polku, bolku. It's duller and it's not as sharp. And I kind of thought about this. Finnish people do have quite strong sounding B's in general. So for example, if the word for parties in slang version is called bilet, with a B, bilet. If you were to say that with more of a P sound, bilet, it still sounds perfectly fine. Like, to me, maybe some of you are like, oh my god, ew, no. But to me, if you pronounce bilet with more of a P sound, like bilet, it sounds alright. Or banani, if you say more like banani with a P sound, it sounds alright. What you want to do is B words, if you pronounce it a bit more like a P, it sounds alright. But if you pronounce P words with more of a B, so like bolku or pyörä, which is meant to be pyörä. If you pronounce it with a B, it sounds off. So if you just focus on the P, this P sound, you should be alright. I don't know if that just made it more confusing or not, but I would say just focus more on the P sound. So even if sometimes you say like banani or bilet with a P sound, it still sounds better than if you say P words with a B sound. That may have confused you more, but I don't really know what else to say. So just like pyörä with a P, pyörä, pyörä, or pyörä, 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 pyörä. I don't know if you can hear a difference or not, but that's the best I can do. If you have more questions relating to P and B, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to look elsewhere because I don't know what else I can say about that. And then the last one was T and D. Now that has a similar problem as P and B. One is sharper, one is duller. They both kind of sound similar. Again, D is duller than T, which is sharper. Again, you can use your hand in front of your mouth. If you say te, you're meant to feel more of a breeze than in de, te. Like te is sharper, te, than de, te. Oh, and then this one though, I think your tongue can be in a bit of a slightly different position. So with de, I feel like the tip of my tongue is kind of like that. That doesn't make any sense. It's the tip of my tongue is against the roof of my mouth, so it's kind of like de. Whereas te, my tongue is flat against the top of my mouth, so like te. I don't know if you can see anything, but so taking an example for like work, työ with a T, työ. If you pronounce it with a D, it would be työ. Like, I don't know, can you hear the difference or not? Työ and työ. Or knowledge, tieto, tieto versus tieto. Tieto. Really sorry about the construction outside. There's nothing I can do about it. They literally construct out there 24/7. Even when I'm trying to sleep, 2 a.m., they're out there drilling. This is why the UK needs double glazed windows, I swear. And again, just as the previous example, in my opinion, I don't know if anyone else agrees with this or not, but I think Finnish people pronounce D quite strong and heavily as well. So if you were to pronounce a D word in Finnish, for example, donitsi, as a T sound, like donitsi, donitsi, I think it sounds fine. Or for example, digital, so digitaalinen. If you pronounce it more with a T sound, I think it sounds all right. It's digitaalinen. Like, all right, that sounds okay. So I would again focus more on getting the T sound right, because if you use the T when it's meant to be a D, it sounds all right. But if you use D instead of a T, or tietokone, if you pronounce it more like a D, so tietokone, it just sounds off. Like, it sounds off. So I would focus more on the T sound. Because if you use T more, even when it's meant to sound like a D, it still sounds better. I don't know if this whole video just made you more confused or not, but that is honestly the best I can do. So yeah, that was just the concerns I saw in the comments. So yeah, I'm just gonna wrap this up and yeah. So I guess that just about concludes this video, so until next time.